Welcome to 3 Count Audio. Today we're going to be talking about It's Almost Dry, Pusha T's album in 2020. Alright, so this is his first #1 album, and I have been a fan of Pusha T since 2002, which would be Clip's first album, Lord Willin'. It was a tremendous album. Everybody remembers Grindin', the perennial timeless record produced by the Neptunes, when they were called the Neptunes back then. Now it's just Pharrell Williams. I've been a big fan of Pusha and Malice. They had some ups and some downs due to label disputes and stuff like that, but I have never heard anything and said that the Clips did it and it was whack. That's one thing. It might have went under the radar, might not have sold a ton of records, but there is no way that you can listen to it lyrically and say that it's whack. Now, they do have the Bubba Gump syndrome, as I call it, which is taking the same subject and chopping it up 100 times. You know, like Bubba from Forrest Gump, like, you can fry shrimp, boil it, you know, and whatever. Like, there's 100 different ways to make shrimp. There's 100 different ways to do coke raps, and these guys will figure it out. They will, well, Pusha specifically, will spend time figuring out how to rap about cocaine on every song. And that's the negative, you know. The negative to Pusha is he's not very diverse in the way that he approaches subjects, but he is incredibly charismatic. He is creative. He's very witty, and his flow is immaculate. So I was really excited to hear this album. It took me a while to get to it because I forgot it existed, to be quite honest. So as usual, let's give a little backstory. Pusha, this is his third album. I'm a bigger fan of his mixtape material, the Fear of God series. Like I said, the Lord Willin' is tremendous. I know they did 3 albums as the Clips. Hell Hath No Fury is also tremendous. Keys Open Doors is my favorite Clip song. Riding Around Shining is another favorite Clip song of mine. But this is about Pusha T. So the Pusha T, the Fear of God tapes, specifically tape 2. It's absolutely killer. What Dreams Are Made Of. You know, My God, Alone in Vegas. These types of records were just tremendous. So, you know, since going solo, he's done very well for himself. But he was kind of going under the radar. And it wasn't until he started feuding with Drake, which I think was in 2018, I want to say. It's been several years. It's been at least 2017, 2018. And Drake, of course, is still one of the more popular rappers in the business. I'm not a huge fan myself. I've never been a huge fan of Drake. But once Pusha T kind of took him out the game and, you know, just ripped his head off, you know, that elevated Pusha T to the next level. And so that allowed him to become more mainstream. And I think that so many people were kind of underestimating, you know, Clips and Pusha, mainly because they came across as haters during the whole Lil Wayne thing. This was back in 2006. They came across as, you know, they were hating on Lil Wayne and Cash Money and all that kind of stuff, because it was a thing where they did What Happened to That Boy way back then. It was a great song, you know, but they had supposedly introduced Cash Money to some concepts that Cash Money then stole. Because, you know, that's what they do. Specifically, things like Bathing Apes and stuff like that, which then Cash Money took and kind of said, okay, well, we made it popular, when they kind of stole it from the Clips. And that kind of led to, you know, years-long beef between Lil Wayne and I think that actually bled into the Drake thing, if I remember correctly. It might have been like a Memphis Bleak Nas situation where Nas and JayZ were having words, and then Memphis Bleak just kind of jumped into it. So what was it like that? I think it might have been. I think it might have just been Wayne and Pusha. Pusha just taking shots at Wayne for years, and then maybe Drake said something, or, you know, and then Pusha took his head off. However that occurred, you know, once Pusha took his head off, it was over, and he became, you know, and it also helped that everybody else in the game got soft, you know, and there was a lot of rappers, you know, some of them just got old. Like Pusha is older, you know, he's older than me. He's got to be in his 40s, because we used to talk about how old he was back then. Like, he was not a young guy. He was like one of those older rappers. So he's got to be in his early to mid 40s at this point. But he doesn't sound old. He also doesn't have the wise old king voice. So he still has the dope boy swagger. So that's really good. But to talk about his earlier materials, My Name Is My Name is a very good album. It's probably my favorite project that he's did. I'm a really big fan of that. King Push was also very good. Daytona was solid, but it was a little too short, and it wasn't really my favorite Pusha T album. It just Daytona was okay. I just didn't think that it was on the same level as King Push or My Name Is My Name. So to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of Pusha T, we already talked about one of them being that, he's kind of repetitive in terms of his content. Also, he's very, very weak on his hooks. He's not really a good song crafter. He's very good with bars, lyrics. That's his thing. And as a backpacker, that's, always my thing is I always want to hear lyrics. So I was always down for that. But the verses, always their strong suit. The hooks, not so much, especially when you're talking about club records and stuff like that. You kind of have to figure it out. But the skill, the wittiness, the charisma, all incredible stuff. So let's get into It's Almost Dry. Now, of course, the name is another allusion to cocaine. So we start with the song Brambleton, which is phenomenal. It is a phenomenal record produced by Pharrell. 6 songs on this album are produced by Pharrell. 6 are produced by Kanye West. From top to bottom, it's a tremendous record. I know some people just say, okay, well, which ones are the best? I say, well, you can tell the difference. Like, I know, when you listen to the album, there's 3 different versions of the album, I think. I think there's the Ye versus Pharrell version, which gives you all the Kanye stuff first and then the Pharrell stuff. Then there's the Pharrell versus Ye version, which gives you all the Pharrell stuff first and then you get Kanye stuff. When I mean stuff, I mean the production. To me, I didn't care because I wanted to hear the cohesive thing. But Brambleton is the first song that I heard. And it's fire. And it's a song I listened to 100 times since I heard it. The flow is just crazy on this joint. He was very enunciating. He was enunciating his words very hard. He does that. I think it's a thing I heard old rappers do it a lot, but it's one of the things I noticed that Busta Rhymes used to do a lot. Is they will over enunciate certain words, specifically ing words. So, thing, bing, bring, they would hit that ing really hard. So it was pretty cool. But the third verse is actually very interesting because it's about that Anthony Gonzalez, the JayZ guy, who did an interview with Vlad. I hate Vlad TV. I really do, man. I hate Vlad TV. Oh God, I can't understand. Like, he's one of those dudes. Like, it's 100% like Dark Side of the Ring kind of shit. Where Vlad, well, he's actually kind of like Hannibal, because Dark Side of the Ring is, it is what it is. But Vlad TV will ask these dudes these incriminating ass questions. And these dudes will be sitting there like, yeah, this is what happened about that, that one thing that I shouldn't be talking about, but I am. And it's like, oh, hell no. But this Anthony Gonzalez, the former manager of the Clips, he had gone to prison. He was supposed to get like football numbers. And then he started cooperating. He started snitching. And Pusha T made a song about him called Snitch that was on, I believe, King Push, or was it My Name Is My Name? It's one of the two. And, Anthony Gonzalez got pretty upset. But this third verse is about him, too. As he talks about, the Vlad TV interview was about me, but he channeled it through you. And he says, you have no idea while Michael kissed Fredo and Godfather, too. About going against the family. Getting caught going against the family. And that's chilling. The beat alone is insane, but that verse is chilling. The second song I heard was Let the Smokers Shine the Coops, which is, the production is okay. It's not my favorite song. The Cocaine Dr. Seuss, I was like, I don't think I get that. Dr. Seuss, I guess, telling stories about cocaine, which is, that would make sense, as far as, yeah, I can see Push doing that. I can see Push being Cocaine's Dr. Seuss. All right, I believe it. I talked myself into it. All right, the third song is Dreaming of the Past, produced by Kanye West. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. There's the Stevie Wonder loop back, which of course is classic Kanye. a throwback to old school Kanye, which you don't hear a lot of anymore, which is the Kanye actually, that's the one thing about Pusha T that I will give him a ton of credit for, is that he was able to bring Kanye back into the realm of rap. As Kanye, when he does his own projects, he's out there trying to make stadium music for the entire world. He thinks he's Michael Jackson or some shit. But when he works with Pusha T, he reminds himself, what this game is, and it kind of reminds you a little bit, just a little bit, of early 2000s Kanye West from like '04 or '05. And that's another beautiful thing about the Pusha T album, is that it does have a sound that is old school for today's audience. So it's almost as if the rest of the game is trying to go some futuristic type of way, and Push is staying grounded. But Dreaming of the Past is tremendous. It has incredible playability. I mean, I could play it several times in a row and never get tired of it. I know for some people, these kind of loops where they're rapping over the voice of some type of legendary artist like a Stevie Wonder or a Shaka Khan or something like that, people kind of get agitated about it. Because it is like, you're stepping on them. But it's a loop. It's a loop. It's basically Stevie Wonder saying the same thing over and over again. But I really like this song. He says in this song, award shows are the only way you bitches can rob me. Which is, because I don't think he's ever won anything. And I don't see why he would. He's not necessarily mainstream for today's audience. Maybe he would have been mainstream in the early 2000s where this kind of stuff was out there floating around all the time. But now that, the rap game has become mostly Megan Thee Stallion and that kind of shit, I don't see Pusha T getting too many awards anytime soon, But this song is one of my favorite songs on the album, without a shadow of a doubt. Number 4, song 4, Neck and Wrist, featuring JayZ, the brooding of the production, Pharrell's production, the neck and wrist don't lie. The diamonds and everything. It shows you whether you got real money or not. This is a very similar song to Brambleton, with the over enunciating of his words and proper pronunciations. JayZ responds to fat guy, what's his name, Faison Love, who went on Vlad TV, saying that he doesn't believe JayZ was real and all this kind of stuff. And JayZ, it takes him 30 years to get to shit. He finally got around to talking about, everybody's been saying this whole if Big hadn't died. People have been saying that since 2000. People have been saying shit since 99. Like, what, JayZ wouldn't be here if Big hadn't died. It's like he's finally starting to talk about it. But the commission was pretty cool. I like the songs that they did together, Biggie and JayZ. I thought that was pretty sweet. I don't think that it would have made a big difference if Big would have died. I think the difference would have been that JayZ probably would have been seen as his young boy, and which is not entirely true. I think JayZ was actually older than Biggie, or they was around the same age, one of the two. But it would have been seen like JayZ would have been his young boy at the time. But JayZ, you couldn't stop it. I think that he filled the void of Biggie when Biggie died, them being from the same neighborhood and everything, or from the same city, same borough. Let's put it like that. I get confused when it comes to New York. But he kind of filled that void. But I don't think Biggie could have stopped it in any way, Because I'm one of those people that don't believe Biggie and Tupac would have been hot forever. I think they would have had their run, like everybody has their run, and then by 2005, 2006, other people would have stepped in doing the same thing they did. And, similar to how it works now, there's people who come in and they kind of park themselves into your lane and they take over. Like JayZ was doing a certain thing. And then, Gucci Man and all the rest of these dudes just came into his lane and started doing everything that he did. All those guys just kind of came out of nowhere, and there they go. Everybody's cutting you off, Shorty Low, and everybody's in his lane. But I love the song. I love JayZ's verse. Just bars, absolutely. Just So You Remember, I believe this is also a Kanye record, if I remember correctly. I didn't write it down here. And this song, he actually says that he sell white privilege. This is a pretty good song. It's okay. Not one of my favorite songs on the album, but it was okay. Song 6 is my favorite song on the album, Diet Coke. the boom bap. Now, when I heard this song, I was like, man, this song sounds like it was, like it's 2003 all over again. And then I hear 88 Keys, the producer for this record, had actually produced the song in 2004. Like, this beat sat around for 18 years. And I was like, holy shit. And this is like when you get a hold of something and it's like truly classic hip hop stuff with the Don Cartagena, Fat Joe sample. Okay, it fits. And it seemed like it was just sitting around like, waiting for somebody like Pusha T to get hold of it. And that's the beautiful thing about this album too, is this feels like a mixtape record. Like this feels like definitely something I would have gone to the flea market and some guy would have had a gigantic CD case flipping through and I'd have been like, oh, Pusha T, let me get that. And it'd have been like $3 or something like that. And would have went home and it'd have been like, what was it, Don Cannon or somebody yelling over this shit. That's how this shit felt. It had such a old school, I hate to say it was old school because it would have been like 2005. But then again, that was a long time ago. It felt good listening to something like this. This is fire. I love this record. And I played this shit, I heard it once as I played it through. And that's the thing about this album. I would hear a song and I would become enamored with it for like 5 or 10 minutes. And like Brambleton or Dreaming of the Past, I would listen to those songs 3 or 4 times before I even went to the next song. And I very, very rarely do that with rap albums now. So Diet Coke is tremendous. If you've never even listened to that song, you have to go listen to it, especially if you're a fan of like bars and the old school sort of mixtape era of rap. This is tremendous. Number 7, Rock and Roll featuring Kid Cudi and Kanye West. I'm not a huge fan of Kid Cudi. Not a huge fan of Kid Cudi at all. No. I heard him and Kanye had a falling out. Kid Cudi and Kanye. I don't care about it. I just heard about it. I don't know what it was about because Kanye's constantly falling out with everybody. He's constantly getting booted off Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. I have no idea why. I know his wife divorced him or wants a divorce from him or something or other, and some weird old guy's hanging around his kids or some shit, or his wife has a new boyfriend or something, and maybe that's fucking with him. Who knows? But I know Kid Cudi is a long time collaborator with Kanye West. I can't say that I was thrilled with everything that he did. I did like the songs they did together on Donda. Well, the version of Donda I heard, and the version of Donda I reviewed. I did like some of those songs, but I'm not a huge fan of Kid Cudi at all. And this song was okay. It was just alright. Song 8, Call My Bluff, another Pharrell production. This is wild. This is a wild record. There's another one that I played over and over and over again. So it's a song a lot about how fake other rappers are. And it's another one of those Pusha T just swagging it out on records kind of thing, where he's not saying a lot, but he's saying a lot. Like he's not sitting down trying to craft the best. He's not Eminem in this thing where he's trying to overthinking his bars, or trying to do silly shit with his voice and all that kind of stuff, where it just feels like he's naturally talking shit on the record. And he's daring rappers to call his bluff, 1-800 call my bluff. And on this joint, he says that sometimes I wish my fan base were more like J. Cole's, but dope boys gotta be the man like they know. And I caught on to it immediately. He's talking about Shorty Low, who made the song They Know. That song's a long, old song though. But he said he wanted to have a fan base like J. Cole, which means mostly white people, because it wasn't until recently that a lot of black people started listening to J. Cole within the last 5 to 6 years. And J. Cole's been rapping forever, but it wasn't like, he wasn't an immediate superstar, What was that? He did a couple of mixtapes where it was just like him in a basketball. What was that? Friday? It was before Friday Night Lights, because Friday Night Lights was very good. But the mixtape before Friday Night Lights, I don't remember what it was called. Somebody may know it if you're listening to this. But during those days, he was struggling. He was struggling hard. But Friday Night Lights kind of took it to the next level for him. And, it really was very good. I'm actually very, very fond of J. Cole. I haven't heard anything of his recently, though. Like, to be quite honest, I have not heard anything J. Cole made after I think his second album. So that's how far I fell off of rap. I don't know how many albums he got. And I was like one of the guy's biggest fans at first. And then he became kind of mainstream. And I was just kind of like, kind of cringe. Like, I didn't listen to, since he's had dreadlocks, let's put it like that, I haven't heard anything that he's written. So, I don't think I've heard anything he's made since he's had dreadlocks. And he's had dreadlocks for a while. So number 9, Scrape It Off, featuring Little Uzi Vert and Don Toliver. Another Pharrell production. Little Uzi Vert, I have no idea who that is. I just don't know. And I'm scared to Google it and look at him, because I got a feeling it's going to be like another Kodak Black situation where I see this kid and just be like, what the fuck? You know, it just, the name just makes it sound like he got weird teeth, like golds or platinums. He's probably got like blue hair, a thing in his nose, and tattooed up to his chin and all kind of shit. But it wasn't an awful song. It had a good beat. It was pretty smooth, but it wasn't really my style. You know, it wasn't really my thing. Song 10, Hear Me Clearly. I like this song. It's very confrontational. You know, if you niggas fear me, say you fear me. So I like this. I like the flow switch on here. Really good bars again, as usual. In this song, he warned people about click hopping, which, and my favorite, she says, we don't fuck bitches who fuck niggas on TikTok. So, I mean, that's probably the smartest thing to do, right? Is to stay away from hood rats. You know, song 11, Open Air, another Pharrell production. And I like this song too. It's very good. You know, great production. I'm a really big fan of the Kanye parts of this album, if you can't tell. Not the Kanye, but the Pharrell parts. Because I think that there's a natural marriage between the Pharrell and the Clips. They just have such chemistry together. And that makes me, you know, pine for the old days of when rappers had, and the Nas thing that he got with Hit Boy is another one where it's kind of like you take time with one producer to create chemistry and create magic, and that's kind of really old school. That's back in the 80s. Guys used to do that, where you used to have the same producer, the same beat maker for the entire album, you know, and then it became, you know, one guy does the singles, a bunch of other guys do the album cuts, you know, so you have like this album full of Dame Grease beats, and then Swiss Beats did all the fucking singles and shit. Like, you know, that's a Rough Riders album right there, you know. But sometimes Dame Grease might get a single or two, maybe, but it was mostly Swiss yelling on that motherfucker. All right, song 12, I Pray For You, featuring Labyrinth and No Malice. Malice, my guy. I mean, always the one I consider to be the superior version of the Clips, well, the superior brother in the Clips, due to his ability to be introspective and not, you know, Malice doesn't have the swagger of Pusha, but he has, you know, more conscientiousness in terms of he understands the ramifications of what he does so much better. And I'll never forget I'm Not You Rapper. You know, when you listen to Malice's version on I'm Not You, that's one of the finest verses crafted for a rap album. It's tremendous. And if you've never heard it, you have to go hear it. It's like, listen, Bun B on Murder. You know, like some people say, it's one of the greatest verses ever written. Like, maybe. But when you listen to I'm Not You and you listen to Malice verse on that joint, ooh, he was talking that shit. He was talking shit on here too. He was a little bit more aggressive than he usually is. Malice, of course, backed away to do Christian rap, which ain't the best thing in the world. You know, Christian rap is usually a bad idea. But Malice's album was okay. You know, his first album. You know, I think it was Hear Ye Him, I think it was called. It was okay. I don't think I heard the second album. I do know that he had two. I just don't think I heard the second one. But he killed this joint. You know, he did very good on here. Kanye West production. I like the song. Ultimately, I love this album. You know, I think this album, again, it has a mixtape feel to it on most parts, but it also has this this sort of old school feel to it as well, which is, part of the whole mixtape thing, where Push didn't have to worry. Like, if you're looking for danceable club records, this ain't it. This is not going to be it if you're going to sit back and listen to danceable club records. No, this is grimy, hood shit. This is where you put your headphones in, or you blast it in the car, or, that kind of thing. This ain't for the bitches. This ain't for the, the booty clap gang. This ain't for that. And, they got their realm, but it's nice to listen to rappers who are not like stoned out of their minds all the time or talking about what they snort and wanting to kill themselves. So that's great. Ultimately, I love this album. And to me, this is one of the best rap albums I've heard probably since I listened to the Nas album, which I also thought was, probably not since the Nas album. Yeah, it's tremendous. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.